lip and cheek versus your eye is through color theory. So if you remember art class, learning about the color wheel, which I wanted to bring, and I keep saying this, and I can't find my color wheel. I moved, and God only knows where I decided a color wheel belongs when you move. I don't know where I packed that away, but someday it will pop up, and I will bring it to show you.
It's probably bookmarking an incredible book on color theory.
Yeah, let's hope. I don't know. We'll find it someday. But anyway, so using different color schemes is going to help you have a super harmonizing makeup look, which is going to be, we always want it to look harmonizing. It's what's the most aesthetically pleasing. So I'm going to do what's called a triadic look. So that means you're going to use 3 colors that are furthest away on the color wheel. So if you think of a color wheel, you could Google it if you want to look up a color wheel. So 1, 2, 3, the furthest away from the color wheel. If you're familiar with primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, that's a triadic combo. But the one I'm going to do is green, orange, and purple. Which sounds,
I gotta be honest with you, that makes me nervous.
Sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But
say that one more time: orange, purple, and green.
Yes, but it's for makeup, so we don't use primary and secondary colors in makeup. We use tones of makeup. So these are all tones. So for example, this beautiful green here is not bright St. Patty's Day green. It is a tone of green, so it's got almost like a gray base there. So that's the way you play with color in makeup. You wear tonal colors. This plummy deep shade, it's not a super bright purple. It's a tone of purple. This is a redder shade, but it's not, Christmas red. This is not Christmas red and green. It's tones of red and green. So that's the way we play with color in makeup. We wear tonal shades. So again, I said purple. The purple in my look, because this look is going to be our whole face. So the 3 shades, if I'm making sense, comment if I'm not, and I'll try to correct myself. So the plummy shades, that's why I use the plummier shades for my lip and cheek. So a little bit of plum is gonna be my purple. So then I said orange and green. That sounds crazy. But orange, if you look at this palette, I don't have a straight orange in here, but it's gonna be the peachy or neutral shades is how we represent an orange shade. So up here, that really pretty peachy shade, and down here a little bit of gold that will represent almost like a bronzy orange look.
Excellent.
So that's what I'm talking about. So it will be harmonizing when it's all said and done, but that's how you create fun looks. As long as you follow the color wheel and the rules of color theory, you can't go wrong.
I have no idea what the rules are in color theory, so I just started with the transition shade. And I gotta be honest with you, I don't know how many colors this is gonna get to. I'm wearing this like weird lavender purple top, and I'm like, I gotta make my eyes pop. So I started with Exquisite just as my transition shade. So that's like above your crease line and what kind of breaks up the color between there and your brow bone, which I am going to highlight as well. So I've already started doing that, but I just wanted to give you the heads up of what I was doing because I don't understand color theory.
I mean, most people don't, but
I'm glad you're teaching me because I think I understand where it's going, and I kind of love it.
I mean, when you get when I get these questions of how do I know which shades to choose, how do I know, if I want to play with these more fun colors, if I want to wear this green, what do I pair with it? How do I make a green work? So green looks beautiful with these bronzy golden tones, and then a plummier lip. It's going to be the 3 colors. Far on the color wheel.
Yeah. Well, but
it sounds
everything
crazy,
that you're saying, though,
that's what artists do.
Totally. And I mean, everything that you're saying is making sense because if you think about fashion right now, obviously a couple years ago, the Pantone color was Marsala. And because in fashion, it takes so long to manufacture everything, it becomes like huge colors. And I was at the mall the other day with my girlfriend just kind of grabbing a cup of coffee, and everything was like Marsala hued, or in this case, kind of purple, paired with like these really brilliantly designed neutrals that were shades of green, essentially, which I thought was like really interesting because like when you talk about the color wheel, that's purple, that's red, and then mixed with green, and you're like, am I gonna look like Christmas? And no, you're not. Like, you're gonna look really chic. And so I love how you're gonna be able to incorporate that tonight with 12 different shades in this eyeshadow palette to do just that.
Right, you're right. That tone of red and that tone of green, that's a complementary color scheme. They're opposite on the color wheel. So they're harmonizing. They actually, when you use these tonal shades, they look beautiful together. And let me just talk a little bit more about the eyeshadow palette we're using because it's incredible. Virtually no fallout when you see us applying, and that's because these are poured, not pressed powders. So they start their life as a cream, and they are poured into the palette. So you get the amazing, vibrant wear of a cream, but with the ease and blendability of a powder, because everybody loves applying, you know, powder eyeshadows are the easiest to use. And then you get the double-ended brush. I'm using this flatter side, which is a little more dense, to lay down that base shade, and then we have a fluffier tapered end for blending into that crease.
Now, would there ever, I know that these start their lives as a cream, would you ever wet these to like make them a little more brilliant?
You can absolutely wet.
What does a wet look achieve? Is it more a bolder approach to the shadow, or is it just like a different finish? Like, is there a sheen to it because you wetted it?
So it does make it a little more bolder, or if you want more like precise application. So I've wet a liner brush, dipped it into these shadows, and then went in replacement of an eyeliner, I've went on my bottom lash line. So to give that really concentrated, precise application, wetting them will do that. Where dry, they're easier to blend and buff, and you get a little bit of a lighter look, but you can absolutely wet these because they will just go back to their natural state of cream. So I'm gonna use a little bit of this gold. Like I said, I'm doing these like bronzy, warmer tones to represent my orange in our triadic color scheme here, in case I scared you.
I just, you know, was a little nervous. You know, it's like, I remember one time dyeing my hair in college, and the top of it was red and the bottom was purple. And I remember my girlfriend being like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And I'm like, "It's not like plastic surgery. It's totally fixable."
Oh my gosh, I love it.
And that's kind of the thing that, like, on a Saturday when you're experimenting with your eyeshadows, like, if you don't like it, just take it off and start over again, because that's the kind of great thing that I feel like a palette like this teaches you, is it gets you familiar with the shape and the contour of your eye area, you know, what it's like to blend. Do you need to focus more on your crease? Do you need to create more of a brow area? And that's kind of the fun with getting 12 shadows, is you can step out a little bit of your comfort zone, but then there's still the few shadows in here that are your neutrals that you're always gonna rely on.
Yes, I mean, what better way to play with color? Like you said, it's not permanent, it's not plastic surgery. This palette makes it simple. So that color scheme I said might have sounded scary, but it's not scary with this palette because these are beautiful tonal shades. You can play with color in a safe way. So you can try these fun color schemes, but safely.
Safely, safely. And, you know, like in your own. So real quick, I'll just kind of show you what I did, because Danielle's been talking me through. So I did more of like a plummy scheme on my eyes. So I used this top color right here for my brow bone. Then for the center of my eye to kind of create some shimmer, I used this, which is the Knockout, which is kind of like this perfect ballerina pink shade. And then for my crease, or for my transition, I used up here. And then I used also the other color, which is Goddess. So kind of fun color. Little blend. Oops, see? This is what's nice about doing your makeup on TV. You're like, she's back. All right, so you get the palette, you get the double-ended brush, which is essentially two brushes as well. The palette alone, $39. You bring the whole thing home for $38.88. Excuse me, 86 cents. We're moving on along to the Earth Tone eyeliner kit. And I gotta tell you, much like Melanie's idea of orange, purple, and green for eyeshadow, I was like, earth tone eyeliner, what does that mean? Well, it